snitching is happening. He also unfollowed Lil Durk on Instagram, so read into that as you may. However you want to read into it as you may. Now, being accused of a snitch for most street dudes will be the worst news they will receive.
The silence has been deafening. For years, the tragic death of King Von has been shrouded in mystery, whispers, and unanswered questions. But what if I told you new evidence has surfaced, painting a chilling picture? Is the truth finally coming out? We're diving deep into the escalating tensions, the rumored payouts, and the unsettling connections that suggest Lil Durk may have orchestrated the murder of his former friend. Prepare to have everything you thought you knew about this rivalry shattered. The air crackled with a palpable tension, a silent battle waged between two titans of the Chicago rap scene, Lil Durk and King Von. Their rise to fame was intertwined, forged in the crucible of shared experiences and the gritty realities of their environment. They were brothers in arms, navigating the treacherous landscape of street life and striving for recognition in the fiercely competitive music industry. But beneath the veneer of camaraderie, a dangerous rivalry simmered, fueled by ego, ambition, and a simmering resentment that would ultimately explode in a tragic confrontation. The roots of their conflict weren't simple or straightforward. It wasn't a sudden falling out or a single incident that triggered the animosity. Instead, it was a slow burn, a gradual erosion of trust and respect built on years of shared history. Early in their careers, they collaborated, lending each other support and visibility. Songs featured both artists, and they publicly acknowledged their friendship, understanding that unity was strength in a world that often sought to tear them down. However, as their individual careers flourished, a competitive spirit emerged, pushing them onto separate paths. Each sought to dominate, to claim the crown as the undisputed king of Chicago rap. This competition wasn't merely about chart positions or accolades. It was intertwined with the complex web of street affiliations and loyalty. King Von, aligned with the OTF, Only the Family Collective, a powerful and influential group with deep roots in the city's South Side, was seen by some as a potential threat to Lil Durk's position. Durk, having established his own increasingly dominant presence, likely felt pressure to assert his authority. The situation became increasingly volatile as both artists achieved mainstream recognition, attracting attention and creating a landscape where every slight, every perceived betrayal, was magnified and exploited. The escalation of their feud played out publicly, through social media diss tracks and veiled threats. The music itself became a battleground, each song a carefully crafted missile aimed at undermining the other's standing. These weren't just rhymes, they were declarations of war, declarations fueled by a growing animosity and a desire to prove one's dominance. The lyrics hinted at betrayals, accusations of disloyalty, and a breakdown in the foundation of their once close relationship. These were not just artistic expressions. They were a reflection of the increasingly toxic environment surrounding both artists. The tragic events of November 23, 2020, in Atlanta, brought this simmering conflict.
Daddy is claiming that he was present when O.T. Avani paid for the hit that led to King Von being killed. There's something in the water this week, bruh. At least Queso Daddy snitched and got Queso life in prison because the daddy was facing significant jail time.
To a violent climax. King Von was fatally shot during a shootout near an after-party, following a quality control music event. The circumstances surrounding his death were immediately shrouded in confusion and conflicting reports. Initial accounts suggested a spontaneous altercation, but soon, whispers began to circulate, hinting at a more sinister plot. These rumors, fueled by the volatile nature of the beef and the complex web of relationships within the Chicago rap scene, began to suggest a deliberate orchestration of events. While authorities have never formally accused anyone of foul play, the persistence of these rumors and the lack of definitive answers have kept the case open to speculation. The intensity of the online discourse surrounding King Von's death has created an environment where alternative theories can thrive, particularly those that implicate Lil Durk. Claims began to surface, alleging that Durk, fearing King Von's growing influence and potential to overshadow him, had allegedly put a bounty on his head. The details surrounding these accusations remain largely unverified, but they have gained traction within online communities and among those who believe Durk had a vested interest in silencing his former friend. The persistent questions surrounding the circumstances of King Von's death, coupled with the history of animosity between him and Lil Durk, have created a narrative that continues to captivate and divide fans. The lack of closure and the proliferation of unconfirmed allegations have fueled a constant search for answers, a desperate attempt to understand the events that led to the loss of a beloved artist. The online community, fueled by speculation and a desire for justice, continues to scrutinize every detail, dissecting every rumor, and relentlessly pursuing any potential link that might shed light on the truth. Whether these rumors are substantiated or remain as mere speculation remains to be seen, but they continue to cast a long shadow over the legacy of both King Von and Lil Durk. The weight of unanswered questions presses down, leaving a void that may never be truly filled, forever entangled in the tragic narrative of a friendship lost and a life cut short. The relentless examination of King Von's death isn't merely a matter of mourning a fallen artist. It's become a sprawling digital investigation, a collective attempt to pierce the veil of unanswered questions. The online world, a vast and often unforgiving landscape, has transformed the tragedy into a case study in suspicion, fueled by a complex history and the ever-present allure of conspiracy. This narrative has been inexorably shaped by the contentious relationship between King Von and Lil Durk, a bond that fractured into a bitter rivalry, lending credence to the darkest and most damaging accusations. The whispers began subtly, small ripples in the sea of grief, but they quickly escalated into a tidal wave of speculation, relentlessly pointing fingers and questioning motives. These aren't accusations made lightly. They carry the weight of potential wrongdoing, the implication of a betrayal so profound that it threatens to forever stain the legacies of those involved.
Off the back of this, people on Reddit are actually saying that this is likely to create a civil war between OTF, Lil Durk's crew, and O Block, which is King Von's crew. People are saying that OTF versus O Block war will happen in 2025 or early 2026 after the Lil Durk case is filled.
The core of the controversy lies in the claims, often shared within online forums and social media platforms, suggesting a monetary incentive behind King Von's death. The specifics are chilling. Allegations that Lil Durk, driven by a perceived threat to his own standing in the rap scene, allegedly placed a bounty on King Von's head. Such a claim, inherently explosive, is a potent blend of suspicion and grief. It speaks to a deep-seated fear of ambition eclipsing loyalty, a sense that the pursuit of fame can corrupt even the closest of bonds. It's a narrative that resonates deeply within the hip-hop community, where competition is fierce and the stakes are incredibly high. The anonymity afforded by the internet provides a breeding ground for these kinds of rumors, allowing them to circulate unchecked, often amplified by individuals eager to perpetuate the drama. The intensity is palpable, with every detail scrutinized and every connection, no matter how tenuous, dissected with forensic precision. The assertion that Durk feared King Von's ascendance isn't simply about jealousy. It's about power and influence. King Von's rapid rise, his increasingly distinct style, and his undeniable talent posed a challenge to Durk's established dominance. This perceived threat, coupled with the documented history of animosity between the two rappers, created a fertile ground for the rumors to take root. The details remain fragmented, often presented as anonymous tips and hearsay within online communities. Yet, the persistence of these allegations, the sheer volume of commentary and analysis, has given them a disturbing level of credibility. It's not about irrefutable proof. It's about a pervasive sense of unease, a nagging feeling that something isn't right. The narrative isn't always presented as a definitive statement of fact, but rather as a plausible explanation for a tragedy that defies easy understanding. The online community's role in this ongoing saga is particularly noteworthy. These aren't passive observers. They're active participants, driving the investigation, sharing information, and often perpetuating the speculation. Forums dedicated to hip-hop culture have become virtual war rooms, where every aspect of King Von's death is analyzed, debated, and dissected. Screenshots of old tweets, obscure interviews, and leaked messages are presented as evidence, fueling the fire of suspicion. This relentless scrutiny, while driven by a desire for truth, can also be incredibly damaging, potentially ruining reputations and exacerbating the pain of those left behind. The digital echo chamber amplifies the narrative, creating a sense of momentum and urgency that can be difficult to resist. The pursuit of answers, however well-intentioned, risks blurring the lines between investigation and accusation. The absence of conclusive evidence is both the fuel and the frustration driving this digital inquest. Without official confirmation or a definitive resolution, the online community is left to fill the void with its own interpretations and theories. This vacuum of information allows the most sensational
to claim that Lil Tim was paid for the murder of King Von in April.
Was going to beat the case. Who finna tell? I don't know how much money they gave him, but I went with him to go get a bag to Lil Tim. This is a fact. We paid Lil Tim in April. We didn't kill him till November.
And provocative explanations to gain traction, regardless of their veracity. The lack of transparency from law enforcement only compounds the problem, fueling the perception of a cover-up and further solidifying the narrative of a deliberate act. The persistent questioning of Durk's involvement is not simply about assigning blame. It's about seeking closure, about understanding the events that led to a devastating loss. The unanswered questions hang heavy, casting a long shadow over the legacies of both King Von and Lil Durk. The online discourse has moved beyond mere speculation. It has evolved into a complex ecosystem of theories, counter-theories, and fervent debate. The proof cited by supporters of the claims is often circumstantial, piecing together fragments of information from various sources, attempting to create a coherent narrative. These fragmented pieces, though individually lacking in weight, collectively contribute to a picture that some find deeply troubling. The anonymity offered by the internet emboldens individuals to make bold accusations, knowing that they are shielded from direct accountability. This lack of responsibility can lead to the spread of misinformation and the perpetuation of harmful stereotypes. The digital landscape has become a battleground, with factions aligned on either side of the narrative, each fiercely defending their perspective. The search for truth is often overshadowed by the desire to win the argument. The claims surrounding Lil Durk's alleged involvement are not merely a matter of personal animosity. They raise profound questions about the culture of competition within the music industry. The pursuit of fame and fortune can drive individuals to extreme measures, and the hip-hop community is not immune to these pressures. The willingness to place a monetary value on a human life is a chilling indictment of a system that prioritizes profit over loyalty and respect. The ongoing investigation serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the corrosive effects of jealousy. It is a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of allowing personal rivalries to escalate into violence. The digital community continues to relentlessly pursue any potential link, relentlessly dissecting every rumor and scrutinizing every detail. The relentless pressure on Lil Durk to explain his involvement is a constant source of tension. The relentless pressure on Lil Durk to explain his involvement has amplified the anxiety within his camp, fueling speculation and deepening the cloud of suspicion. Every social media post, every public appearance, is now scrutinized through the lens of this ongoing controversy. This isn't merely about clarifying a misunderstanding. It's about confronting a narrative that accuses him of a crime of the utmost gravity, the orchestration of a murder. The digital community, operating with an almost hive mind mentality, pores over every detail, transforming minor inconsistencies into supposed proof of guilt. This collective pursuit of truth has taken on a life of its own, far removed from a simple desire for justice. The competitive spirit inherent within the music industry, a system often
Real ones show up, oh, they get suspicious. Lil Durk doing everything he did for King Von, bringing him to the Breakfast Club, putting him on records, bringing him in rooms, setting him up with producers and hit makers. He did all of
lauded for its entrepreneurial drive, has been twisted into a breeding ground for paranoia and mistrust. The idea that someone would be willing to pay for such a heinous act underscores the profound moral decay that can accompany the pursuit of fame. It's a chilling realization that the lines between business and criminality can become dangerously blurred, especially when vast sums of money are involved. The willingness to place a monetary value on a human life isn't a new phenomenon, but the starkness of its application within the context of the hip-hop community is particularly unsettling. It highlights a culture where loyalty and respect are often secondary to financial gain. The competition isn't just about chart positions or awards anymore. It's about dominance, about establishing a hierarchy that can be maintained through any means necessary. The pursuit of fame is often packaged as a rags-to-riches story, a testament to individual determination and hustle. However, the darker side of this narrative involves cutthroat competition and a willingness to compromise principles for success. The source material doesn't directly outline specific payments or deals. The claims surrounding Lil Durk's alleged involvement remain largely circumstantial and fueled by rumor, but it does establish a framework for understanding how these types of allegations can arise. The environment itself, the intense rivalry, the constant striving for the top spot, the overwhelming pressure to maintain an image of strength and success, creates a fertile ground for these accusations to take root and flourish. The relentless cycle of diss tracks and escalating tensions between artists isn't just about artistic expression. It's often a calculated effort to gain leverage and control within the industry. The investigation itself is a complex undertaking, sifting through layers of misinformation and conflicting narratives. The digital community's role in disseminating these claims has both amplified the public outcry and complicated the investigative process. While social media can be a powerful tool for accountability, it can also be easily manipulated to spread false information and damage reputations. The constant barrage of accusations and counter-accusations has created a climate of fear and distrust, making it difficult to discern fact from fiction. It's tempting to dismiss these allegations as mere tabloid fodder, but the underlying issue, the corrosive effects of unchecked ambition, deserves serious consideration. The music industry, like any other sector, is driven by economic principles, but the stakes are often far higher than simply profit margins. The artists themselves are brands, their images carefully cultivated and marketed to a global audience. Any scandal, any accusation, can have a devastating impact on their careers and their personal lives. The pressure to maintain this carefully constructed facade can be immense, leading some individuals to make desperate choices. The competitive landscape demands unwavering commitment and relentless self-promotion. This can inadvertently foster a culture of paranoia and a willingness to eliminate rivals. The idea that someone would intentionally sabotage...
He's allegedly had a protective order filed for him, and some people are thinking this is some sort of protective custody or some sort of protection of his identity for, you know, becoming a snitch for the state. That doesn't necessarily mean for sure.
Another artist's career, or worse, is a disturbing reflection of the industry's darker side. This isn't about a lack of talent. It's about the lengths to which people will go to achieve and maintain their positions at the top. The anonymity afforded by social media only exacerbates this problem, allowing individuals to anonymously spread malicious rumors and accusations without fear of consequence. The digital community's relentless pursuit isn't driven solely by a desire for justice. It is also fueled by a voyeuristic fascination with scandal and controversy. The constant dissection of every rumor and scrutinizing every detail is a form of entertainment for some, a way to feel connected to the drama unfolding within the world of celebrity. This constant surveillance creates a pressure cooker environment for those caught in the crosshairs of public opinion, making it even more difficult to navigate the complex web of accusations and denials. The investigation serves as a reminder that the pursuit of fame and fortune can have profound consequences. While the music industry celebrates entrepreneurial spirit and self-promotion, it must also acknowledge the ethical responsibilities that come with wielding such power and influence. The willingness to compromise principles for success is a dangerous path, one that can lead to moral decay and irreparable damage. The constant scrutiny surrounding Lil Durk's alleged involvement is a stark example of how quickly reputations can be tarnished and lives can be upended. The relentless questioning continues, driving a narrative that threatens to consume all involved. The system itself, designed for competition, inadvertently fosters an environment ripe for exploitation and mistrust, where the pursuit of success can eclipse the value of human life. The relentless questioning continues, driving a narrative that threatens to consume all involved. The system itself, designed for competition, inadvertently fosters an environment ripe for exploitation and mistrust, where the pursuit of success can eclipse the value of human life. This isn't merely about a single accusation. It's a symptom of a deeper malaise within the music industry, a reflection of the distorted values that now govern the pursuit of fame. It's a system where image is everything, where loyalty is transactional, and where the line between ambition and malice blurs into an indistinguishable haze. The very structure that allows artists to rise to unprecedented levels of influence simultaneously cultivates the conditions for devastating conflicts, fueled by jealousy, greed, and the ever-present pressure to maintain an illusion of invincibility. The notion that Lil Durk paid to have King Von killed isn't simply a headline. It's a horrifying manifestation of this broken system. The whispers started subtly, a low hum beneath the surface of the vibrant world of hip-hop. Then, with the release of seemingly innocuous posts and cryptic messages on social media, they grew louder, more insistent. These whispers weren't born from a desire for truth. They were fueled by a hunger for scandal, a craving for the dramatic narrative that dominates our digital age.
I think a lot of people...
I mean, I'm going to give you this. It's a back door and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm going to tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, is it open? Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you...
The ambiguity surrounding the circumstances of King Von's death provided fertile ground for speculation, allowing these rumors to take root and spread like wildfire across the internet. The lack of definitive answers, the refusal to fully investigate the underlying tensions within the Chicago rap scene, only served to amplify the speculation. It's tempting to dismiss these claims as mere gossip, as the product of internet trolls and opportunistic bloggers. But the persistence of these accusations, the sheer volume of evidence presented by various online sleuths, demands a more critical examination. The proof, as it's often presented, consists of fragmented social media posts, deleted tweets, and anonymous online claims, a mosaic of suggestive details that, when pieced together, create a compelling, albeit circumstantial, case. The unsettling nature of these fragments is that they are readily accessible, easily shared, and remarkably difficult to disprove. Each new piece of evidence appears to confirm the initial suspicion, pushing the narrative further into the realm of plausible deniability. The ease with which such accusations can circulate online highlights a profound failure within the digital landscape. The platforms designed to connect us have become conduits for unchecked rumors, facilitating the rapid dissemination of potentially damaging information with minimal oversight or accountability. The anonymity afforded by the internet emboldens those seeking to spread misinformation, while the algorithms prioritize engagement above truth, ensuring that sensational and often unsubstantiated claims gain maximum visibility. This environment thrives on conflict, rewarding negativity and punishing those who dare to challenge the prevailing narrative. The resulting climate fosters a pervasive sense of distrust, eroding the foundations of personal relationships and damaging reputations with astonishing speed. The accusation against Lil Durk is particularly potent because it strikes at the core of the artist's public image, the image of a survivor, a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. To be publicly accused of orchestrating a murder is to have that carefully constructed image shattered, to be stripped bare and exposed to the judgment of the world. The swift and often brutal response from Durk supporters, the vehement denials and counter-accusations, only serve to deepen the mystery and prolong the debate. The dynamic creates a feedback loop where accusations beget denial, which in turn fuels further speculation. The investigation, as it's been reported, remains a fragmented and inconclusive process. The details are murky, obscured by conflicting accounts and a reluctance to delve too deeply into the complex web of relationships and rivalries that define the Chicago rap scene. The lack of transparency, the perceived bias in the reporting, contribute to the pervasive sense that the truth is being deliberately concealed. The silence from key figures within the industry, the reluctance of powerful labels to address the allegations head-on, only amplify the suspicion that something sinister is at play.
Believe this, okay? This story has been going absolutely crazy for the past day or so, and as a King Von expert myself, we're just going to have to get to the bottom of it together, okay? So there's been a whole bunch of things that have been going down, and like let's just get straight in the indictment, and there's a whole lot of things. So he was charged with a number of things: conspiracy to commit murder, accessory to murder, possession of a firearm, use of a firearm during a violent crime, attempted murder, tampering with the evidence or concealment, and gang-related charges. very friend of Durk and Vonnie. I've heard rumors that he might be Von's cousin or Durk's cousin, but I'm honestly not sure if that's entirely true. But a lot of crazy information has been spreading about him. But I just want to show you how close he was to Durk and Von. I